puts a nut there? Now you can see we have our rocker flannel. Well.
Today, Project Spartan is getting an all-new diamond plate floor to go with the factory doghouse. In order to do that though, I need to make sure that this cab is nice and sturdy. I'm going to move these braces I put in earlier to the inside of the door jamb so that when I go to work on the cab corners and rocker panels,
I can gap it properly, it'll have more strength, and it'll just be a better end product. Another reason we are moving these steel bars inboard and adding the doors on is because no matter what vehicle you're working on, when you start removing this much material, everything becomes fragile. So the more rigidity that I can put into this project right now, it is gonna give me better odds of having the fit and fitment that I want as we continue to add more material to the build. Now that we have our door on, our seam for what it is acceptable. Now it's time to start fitting new sheet metal. Now, when it comes to doing cab corners and rockers and all that stuff, you can take the time to make it, but we want to get this done as fast as possible. So we went out and we bought some J10 cab corners and rockers. The front part of the cab is good enough that I can just bend some material that we have in-house, weld it on, and off we go. This is the general setup that we have here, okay? So we have our cab corner, inner door, and then the actual rocker. These rockers are galvanized. No matter what you're working on, if it's galvanized, if you can't take off the galvanization, make sure you're wearing the proper respirator. It's a good habit that even if you do wear a respirator, strip off the galvanizing anyway. It's not good for your lungs, and it'll just be bad news Paddington Bear. So I'm gonna fit it, I'm gonna use some Clecos, get everything where I want it, and then, and only then, will I start cutting, grinding, tacking. I'm gonna start with the cab corner. Why? I have more reference points to go off of. I have this body line, I have this body line. I have the doors jamb here. I have a lot more to go off of, especially once I close the door, to sit there and go, okay, now that I have all of this lined up, it's tacked in place, now I can start building and fabricating off of there. Sometimes you just gotta let the vehicle tell you how to do the job, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So now, start trimming off of here, bringing the panel up, getting it into alignment with this. Then I'll square up the back here, get that ready. And then once this is all good here, I'll start taking off the front and getting it ready so that this lip can wrap around. And then that will help lead us into the actual rocker install once we do the inner door. This is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what it looks like. So that spray foam was not structural spray foam at all. I've test fitted the new rocker. This mess of a rocker has to come out because it is in the way. I'm gonna cut here and here. I'm gonna cut as much of this here as possible, and then get ready to start testing and fitting and welding away. Here we go. In no world does 1/4-inch bar or 3/16 angle iron deserve a place on sheet metal. We got 1/4-inch bar, 3/16 angle, that was weld glued. This is not a weld. These are all weld faults, all right? Like, how do you do that? 2 sheet metal. In this application, there is no world where you need this type of material on sheet metal. You don't need it. If you can't do it properly in the time that you have, give it to somebody who can. Go ask your friends to help out, whatever you have to do. This is not bettering anybody. It's just causing more work for yourself down the road. And to be honest, whoever did this, if they went, oh, I'm a welder. No, no, you're not. No, you're not. Where do I want this to go? Where do I want to start? Do I want to start at the front and do a small patch at the back? Or do I want to start at the back and do a patch at the front? You know what? And I'm going to start from the front back. I have my door gap set. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Who puts a nut there? They welded a nut to fill the gap. Like, come on, just do it right. That is, stuff like that legitimately pisses me off. Welding a nut in a spot, it serves no purpose unless you want or need it to be a captured nut, and even then, there's better ways to do it. Never would you use a nut in that application. It's aggravating because to do it right would have taken an extra 5 minutes at the most. Like, if you didn't have enough material here to weld, or you didn't feel confident enough welding on this little ear, well, then just take a piece of flat bar and put it across. But I mean, let's be honest. If you're doing this, you're doing it from the top, so the floor's already gone. I mean, just do it right, people. Just do it right or not at all, please. Let's do it. Just do it. Now you can see we have our rocker panel. Panel. As you can see, now we have the rocker panel tacked in place. It's giving rigidity back into the cab. It's really a really big step getting this in here. I gotta do a little bit of hammer work in here, but I'm happy with it. Hope this closes. Okay. Everything seems to be okay. Now we are moving on to the inside, the floor. I am not gonna be working on this in this orientation. We're gonna flip it up and lay it on its back, because then what I'll be able to do is work on the entire floor without having to crawl underneath and one thing and the other like that. It'll be nice and comfortable. Let's get to it.
All right, you said we're going by the straps?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I'm anticipating this being front heavy.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to lean back quite a bit.
You're going to get close to the glass.
Oh boy, right there?
Right there.
That'll do it. We're
Yep.
already tilted pretty far back. That sounded like glass. Are we replacing this windshield?
We can. You know what it was?
What was it?
You hit your beloved window wiper switch.
Oh, not the manual wiper.
Yeah, because you moved the wiper. That's all you did.
Oh, okay. Okay, it was, all right, we're good. That was a close call.
And down.
All right, you don't want to put no blocks or nothing?
Nothing.
It's folding.
Yeah, up. Tried to tell you and you wouldn't listen.
What did I tell him? Oh well.
I plan on upgrading the rockers anyway.
Okay, but you just put these in.
Yeah, I know. It's because we're telling a story.
Basically, it needs to come off of the blocks directly onto the flat part of the cab, which it definitely kind of rolled up a little bit.
I'd really like for these not to roll underneath it. No way to know except to do it, so let's go, let's do it.
It's hitting the jack stand just a little bit on that side.
I think that's good enough to rethink our game plan for rolling this back.
Don't we have some 6x6 chunks or 8x8s or something like that? You looking good on both sides?
This side's looking good.
Oh, you're hanging up there.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go back, or
Back up.
up. Time to get this thing rolled over.
Either we try and put one fork in there and I don't think they're gonna be wide enough to get around the cab, or we try and put them both together, and at that point, I think they'll be too wide to fit into the hole in the tunnel. Yeah, see if they're... Well, I did not think it was that wobbly. Doesn't look that bad on this side. This side might need some work.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. No, down. That's a multi-man lift. 2, 3. Come on.
Sounded like everything was right where it needed to be.
Yep.
Exactly.
That's exactly what we wanted. That is perfect.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
See?
Well, I'll be damned, he fixed it.
Right?
I don't know what you were complaining about. Man's got the magic touch.
Now, the reason we tip this up like this is to give me access to the structure on the bottom here. First thing I'm gonna do is I need to look at where I wanna cut, why I wanna cut there, how is it gonna set me up for success in the future. So right off the top, we have the firewall, and this is what's left of the floor, and we have a seam right here across both sides. Now, when I finally do go to actually remove the floor and this structure, that's where I'm gonna cut. I wanna save this tunnel, okay? If I start cutting a little bit here, a little bit down there, it's gonna be a pain to put back together, but if I cut here, it's a known point. When it goes back together, everything looks the same. If you notice, we have all these bolt holes all the way around. That is the cover for the transfer case. I'm not gonna be using all of it, just this center section, like I said, and I'm gonna use that cover as a locator plate. Now that we have the remainder of the floor removed, we got a whole lot of old school air conditioning going on. I know right off the hop, the easiest thing for me to do is start building these corners up. It's an actual like major tie-in point for the floor, the structure, the door, all that stuff. Then from there, I'm actually gonna start working on the ribbing that was gonna be structural for the floor. What we're doing right now is I'm gonna be adding some structure to the floor of the cab. I left this part up here. Why? It was perfectly good. Nothing's wrong with it. As you've seen before, remove the rest. I bent up all of this channel here on our brake that we have. It's 18 gauge, and I am mimicking the factory design. We have our main structure here. This side here is going to have a piece of diamond plate on it, or tread plate, whatever you want to call it, and that's going to act as the floor pan itself. It's going to be stronger than stock. Let's get to work. All right, today we are going to be talking about welding wire, and not just a normal conversation about welding wire. That is today's Summit Tech Tip. The best way to look and think about welding wire is as a recipe, whether it's aluminum, stainless, normal steel, flux core. It is all a recipe of different ingredients, different powders put into the mix, and then drawn out into electrode rods. So we are gonna go from top to bottom on how to decode steel electrode rod specifications. You usually see things like ER70S-6, ER70S-2, ER80, ER110. If you notice, all across all types of wire, aluminum, stainless, welding rod, it all starts with E or ER. So ER, electrode rod. Next up is your number, measured in tens of thousands of tensile strength. So if it's 60, it's 60,000 PSI for tensile strength. That's the breaking point. Then after that, you have a letter, either S, T, or C. S stands for solid wire, which is your usual TIG wire or welding wire for the MIG application that you'll see in your day-to-day welding. After that, you have T, which is flux core, as well as C. Both of these are industrial applications, so stay away from that until you get better with your skills. After that is your number designation, and this is where the cake recipe really comes in. Whether it's 2, 6, or something else, that is the additives that they put into the wire to extract impurities. So when you're looking at your weld and you see like little tan or beige islands on top of your weld, that's nothing to be worried about. That's the welding wire pulling impurities to the top, making sure you have a stronger weld. And that was their Summit Tech tip. After some serious measurements with a highly calibrated eyeball, I realized that this worn down zip disc is the closest thing we have to the right radius. I'm not joking. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Now, how can we do this? How am I gonna go about doing it? This is the tool that I ended up making. And all I did was I took 2 pieces of 1 3/4 tubing, square tubing, cut those on the end, 1 5/8 DOM 120 wall. That's what we're gonna bend against. The clamps that I'm using are gonna be used to push against. I'm gonna take a piece of 1/4 flat bar, put it across the back, and just use a set of clamps. Clamp onto it, and I'm just gonna slowly walk it up until we get the radius I want. For those of you at home going, oh, that must be nice, having a fab table. Once you get it all measured square to whatever table you have at home, you can tack weld pieces of scrap to it, so you know once the material is back in and it butts up against it, you're in the same exact spot over and over again. All right, let's see how this goes. I just started to lift the table. Now that we have 10,000 pounds pushing down on the table, let's see if I can move it.
Have your mom sit on it next time.
There. All right, so as we can see, our bend line is slightly higher, which is exactly what we wanted. We're gonna start cutting metal away here now. First thing I wanna do though is I wanna put a bend in this side over here. How am I gonna do that now with this brake line here? Very simple. I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna just do like a 1-inch cut in, bend it, and then from there on, it's just gonna be rinse and repeat. It's a friction fit. I just want it to slide into place. I don't want any undue stress. So I'm gonna do that. I don't need to mark that. And then for this, I'm gonna follow this bend up here. I'd say it terminates roughly here. So I'm honestly just gonna go like this. Right now, I'm approaching that final 10% to really dial it in. I got a little bit of hammering and dolly work to do there, a little bit of grinding down here, but for the most part, it's just more of what you guys have already seen. So we're gonna call it there for this side here. Next time you see this, I'm gonna have this done, that done. It's gonna look a whole lot different. Now that we have the passengers and driver's side floors welded in the forever home, we're gonna start moving on to the transmission tunnel, which is holding on by a hope and a prayer. Good thing is we're not gonna be using this. All I really care about is this form section right here. Reason I wanna try and save that is because for the time being, we're gonna be putting the stock motor and transmission back into it. And we know that they once lived underneath here, and it's gonna save a ton of work trying to build a new tunnel. So I'm gonna take the doghouse off, bolt it up to the firewall, and get going. Now I'm starting with the doghouse itself because it should just bolt right in. Fat man in a small bathing suit. Now that we have that lined up, I should be able to get the rest. now that we have this in here, let me explain why I put the cover for the doghouse on first and didn't just sit there and start measuring. First off, a lot of this is rusted and rotted out. So if I started pulling measurements from here, I could be landing in no man's land. As you can see, there's chunks of this thing you could literally put your hand through. So I don't want to be sitting there and saying, oh, I can cut here and then weld it, because clearly I can't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off about 1/3 on each side, okay? What that's going to do is it's going to bring it down to a manageable piece that I can then pick up, bring over, and bolt to the bottom of this. Then what I'll be able to do is then directly transfer from here onto the existing floor, because I did leave myself a substantial amount that I know I need to cut off over here. What I don't want to do is have to create big patch panels, and then it just won't look as good. So this is the right way. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna bolt it up to the cab and get ready to start grafting it in. We are done cutting the diamond plate, and I'm now gonna start trimming up the last of this original tunnel and bringing those two lines to bear. So there's a spot here where there's more overlap of the old tunnel than the new. I'm just gonna come back with the body saw and trim that out so it fits nice and tight. Also, another point, the reason I'm using a body saw for this and not a zip disc. A body saw is substantially thinner than a zip disc. Also, it's a lot more precise, and I can really get in and like these turns here, going from this to like a 45 and around and up, and this big arc right here, with a body saw, no problem. Just take my time and I can just, it's like cutting hot butter. Hey, Junior, this is gonna get loud again. Loud. This is gonna get loud.
Loud again? No, we're not gonna allow it again.
Now that I have the floor, tunnel, and rockers all welded in, Eric's back. He's gonna give me a hand getting this thing horizontal. Like that. Yeah. Now that I have the floor, rockers, and trans tunnel all welded in, Eric's back, and we're gonna get this, All right, now that I have the floor, tunnel, and rockers all welded in, I need to get this horizontal, so this goof is gonna give me a hand.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm still here. Just been a little busy.
You are gonna be coming in. Watch out for the blower box and the master cylinder.
Yep.
Once you get through, I'll let you know when to stop. I'll connect you with the ratchet strap, and then we'll put tension on it. Up.
Oh, you going for the hook?
Yeah.
Because that'll help us from rolling it too much on the cab corners. Still got one of them that's got to get reshaped a little bit. I don't know what happened there. Oh, yeah. We ain't even got to lower it back down.
I'm gonna go up on my end. Once we get her close to level, and then we'll sit there. Essentially what we'll do now is I'll come up, you'll come down, we'll level her, find the happy medium, set it onto those
Jack stands.
jack stands, rejig, and come up with a different plan. Okay, come down on yours.
Going down. You going on the cab support?
There we go, going down.
All right.
Come in, and then when you're in location, just shift the forks to your right.
It doesn't help that at this height, the boom is like right in my eye line.
You're good. Just watch, I'll take care of the forks, you watch your boom in the side of the cab.
I got it.
Turn to your left and forward.
Oh wait, we're doing my thing? I was right?
What?
That's what's gonna work, not the... I say, if that don't do it, I don't know what will. Told you so.
And hold there. All right.
Holding.
You're good. You're good. Let's move the frame under.
All right.
A little more. A little more.
There's tension off.
Done. We're there.
All right.
Don't go down any further.
Let's
else
say,
you're gonna-
tricky part now, we gotta...
Yeah. I would just wait. I'll climb up. I'll
Yeah, we
undo
can
everything.
loose the
and
straps.
Then go from there.
Okay. Let's just take a look around.
Lower it faster.
It's still moving.
I'm getting tools.
No, that is actually as fast as it goes.
Oh
right
no,
there.
I know. I'm just being a smart ass.
Well, I'm trying to remember where it sat before. I think it was just a little lower than that.
Yeah. I think I honestly, if you put it back on the locks, I think that's about it.
Well, we got to remember, what did we end up going with for a tire size on this for this go round?
37, 13 and a half, R17.
37s. All right, you got a tape measure handy?
Side of the fab box over there.
Side of my toolbox. It's closer. What do you think? Probably right about there?
You're close enough, yeah.
It's in the ballpark.
Exactly. Now that we have everything torn down, we are ready to start building this thing back up again.
Yeah. So,
Now that we have everything torn down, we are at the stage now where we can start building things back up.
yeah, that's right. And next time you see this thing, there's gonna be quite a bit more work done to it. It's gonna look quite a bit different. So, catch you next time.